do some singing. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. All right, let's do something a little faster. All right, building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Hate and greed and jealousy. We are working to be free. We said freedom is our cry. We said freedom is our cry. He said freedom is our cry. Without these, this world will die. He said freedom is our cry. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Namaqua Unitarian Universalist Congregation. We are glad you are here. My name is Tina Fey, I'm your worship associate for today. And happy autumnal equinox, first day of fall, and the weather changes immediately. I was lucky enough to be born on this day 27,029 Earth rotations ago. A day that equals the night, a kind of balance that I seek to strive for every single day. Anyway, this is a Come As You Are congregation, and you are welcome here, just as you are. We want to send a special welcome to those who are visiting us today. Please check in the back. We've got some forms you can fill out, and we can keep in touch with you. We foster a beloved community that celebrates diversity, strives for peace and justice, acts mindfully for the good of the planet, and inspires spiritual growth through a free and loving search for truth and meaning. We honor the ground we walk upon and acknowledge this land as the traditional and ancestral homeland of the Arapaho, Cheyenne, and Ute nations and peoples. We recognize and honor the indigenous people as original stewards of this land and vow to reconcile the deep wounds that shape our world today. Got a few announcements for you. So we have been doing postcards to support the voting process in Georgia. We've done almost 2,000 postcards. Thank you. We are accountable for all those packets, so if you still have a packet, turn it in. If it's not quite done, that's all right, we'll finish it up. Thanks to all the people who've donated for stamps, and if you would like to donate for stamps, we've got a box in the back for so we can get the rest of the postcards out. You can still register to participate in the small group ministry program. The registration link is in the weekly announcements, or you can fill out the form, and the ushers will pass the clipboards at this point. Yep. Today, after the service, newcomers are invited to Getting to Know UU to learn more about Namaqua and Unitarian Universalism. This session will take place in Reverend Dana's office in the building behind the sanctuary. Grab a cup of coffee and a snack and come join us. Bring your questions and curiosity. We always do joys and sorrows here to keep track of what's going on in your lives. If you have a brief personal joy and sorrow and don't want to come up to the mic, the ushers also have some forms you can fill out, and then we'll read that. Friday, October 18th, mark your calendars. The Wild Elderberries are going to play a benefit concert here in the sanctuary. One of our former members, and I'm sure a future member, is playing in that band along with one of my neighbors, and some of us have become sort of their, I'm not going to say groupies, but that's the only word that comes to mind at the moment. Let's see, next Sunday, 10 a.m., our usual time, Reverend Dana, Lehne Leverette will be the worship associate, and Ryan and the choir will be doing a UU Climate Justice Revival, which is happening in UU congregations across the country to collectively reimagine a spirit-filled and liberatory future. As we make the connections between climate and justice, we are called to reimagine what it means to do this urgent work in our communities. You're all invited to join us for coffee and snacks after the service today, again over in Parker Hall. Thanks to everyone who's put this service together. It takes the ushers, the musicians, the guest minister, the sound people, you know. It's amazing we have all the slides in the right order. That's all I can say. Today, our guest minister is the Reverend Lydia Ferrante-Roseberry, a good friend of Namaqua UU. She's the former minister of Boulder Valley UU Fellowship in Lafayette and is currently a consultant with UUA's stewardship team and an organizer with Together Colorado. And she's bringing us some fun today, all spiritual, of course. So, Lydia.
Good morning, everyone. It is really a delight to be here. I am, as Kathy said, a friend of the congregation. I've been connected in various ways with you for a while, including I was, for a short period of time, the supervisor for your former intern, Claire Hammer. My opening words today begin with the words of Cynthia Winton Henry, who is a friend and mentor of mine and also the co-founder of Interplay, which is a worldwide movement of people committed to unlocking the wisdom of our bodies through playful and powerful practices. I've been an Interplay leader for over 25 years, and it's one of my most joyful and helpful spiritual practices. Spontaneity is a soul word, writes Cynthia. Spontaneity is the sign of an open, uncomplicated soul. When you feel open and spontaneous, you're in the neighborhood of soul. How do you feel when you are open and spontaneous? Have some or most of that playful flow of life been eroded away by the seriousness of adulthood? I'm here to tell you that I am a recovering serious person, and even with a quarter century of practice in improvisational play, I often also still get stuck in my old, often unhealthy, and definitely less joyful ways of being. When were you most spontaneous? Maybe it was as a child until you were taught restraint. Or as an elder, maybe just tired of stifling life. Today, we will together, believe me, together, explore playful improv as a spiritual practice. And yes, practice. Because in the words of Paul Simon, improvisation is too good to be left to chance. Come, let us worship together this morning. Oh, please join me in saying our congregational affirmation. It's on the screen. There it is, right behind you. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its call. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Let's share the spirit of love by greeting those around you. Good morning. Good morning. We're doing great. So far, so good. Welcome. Good morning. Hi, Connie. I'm Lydia. I'm noticing your name tag, so you're not, you either forgot yours or you're not a regular member.
This is our second time visiting, yes.
Welcome, and you're Shiloh? Welcome, so glad you're here.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Let's sing Let It Be a Dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance to the dancing song we heard. Play the music, say the words, and fill the sky with sailing birds. Let it be a dance, let it be a dance, let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Feel the rhythm, feel the need to reap the harvest, plant the seed. Let it be a dance, let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Everybody turn and spin. Let your body learn to bend. And like a willow with the wind, let it be a dance, let it be a dance, let it be a dance. A child is born, the old must die. A time for joy, a time to cry. Take it as it passes by. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Morning star comes out at night. Without the darkness there's no light. If nothing's wrong and nothing's right, let it be a dance, Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let the sunshine, let it rain. Share the laughter, bear the pain. And around we go again. Let this be a dance.
Few of you to come up here. I would like all the young people, if you want, and anybody who might be feeling a little young at heart today, to come forward. We just need a few people to join me and Kathy and Lehne, actually. Coming up, Shiloh. Anyone else? Excellent. Yes. And you are Daniel? Okay. So we're going to play a game of catch. And just hold on. No, I'll get what we're going to catch in a second. Okay, here we go. Here's my red ball. Okay, so I'm going to take my red ball and I'm going to throw it at one of you. And you all will say, as I throw it, I'll say red ball. And you'll say, red ball, thank you. And then you'll throw it at somebody and say red ball. And they'll catch it and they'll say, red ball, thank you. You get the idea? Okay. Okay. Red ball.
Red ball, thank you. Red ball.
Red ball, thank you.
Red ball, thank you.
Red ball, thank you. Red ball.
Red ball, thank you.
Green ball.
Green ball, thank you.
You keep playing with the red ball. I've just added a green ball.
Red ball,
Green
thank
ball,
you.
thank you. Green ball. Red ball. Red ball, thank you.
Red ball.
Oh, red ball, thank you.
Green ball, thank you.
Red ball, thank you. Oops.
Green ball coming in.
Oh, green ball, thank you. Green ball.
Green ball.
Oh, green ball. Oh, green ball, thank you. Green ball.
Where's the red ball go?
Oh, we dropped the red ball.
Over there on the floor.
Okay, grab the red ball, would you? Thank you, Shiloh. Okay.
Green ball, thank you.
Red ball, thank you.
Green ball.
Red ball.
Red ball, thank you. Red ball, thank you.
Sweet potato.
Oh no. Red ball.
Red ball, thank you.
The sweet potato.
Sweet potato.
Wait, I think it's a watermelon. Wait, I have green ball.
Garrett, thank you. Okay, and thank you all. And I want to ask you some questions, though. What worked? What did you notice? What did you notice, Charlotte? Huh?
I couldn't see the ball anywhere, or the sweet potato, or the
So how did you know when to catch it?
Well, I went on faith.
Faith. Oh. Anyone else? How did you know when to catch the ball, Shiloh? Do you know? Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh. You saw the action of throwing. Anything else? Yeah. So you had to really pay attention to the whole space, right? Yeah. What did you notice?
I noticed y'all having fun. I should have joined.
Oh, yes. There will be other opportunities, don't you worry. Presence, paying attention to one another, and just, group presence and individual presence. That's part of what red ball, green ball, sweet potato does. Okay. Karen.
The children's area. We're going to sing you up. Would everybody form the arch, and we will sing Shine Along?
I'm gonna let it shine, this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine, this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Words from Shel Silverstein. You turn me up? Okay. Shel Silverstein, the zebra question. I asked the zebra, are you black with white stripes or white with black stripes? And the zebra asked me, are you good with bad habits or bad with good habits? Are you noisy with quiet times or quiet with noisy times? Are you happy with some sad days or are you sad with some happy days? Are you neat with some sloppy ways or are you sloppy with some neat ways? And on and on and on and on and on and on he went. I will never ask a zebra again. Let's see, we're going to do the offertory next, and this month, well, every week you support this congregation by all that you do, and then during the service, we collect for a nonprofit in our community. And this month and next month, September and October, we are collecting for the Friends of the Loveland Public Library Foundation. There have been some proposed budget cuts in the city, and we already have pretty limited hours there. The library does a great deal to work with our homeless population, and so we felt it was a great place to give some support to. So please give generously. And while the ushers are passing those baskets out, we'll listen to Lehne do a little improv. Thank you, Lehne. Each week we come together to listen to beautiful music, have amazing guests, and to share with each other what's going on in all of our lives. I want to start first with, we're going to do brief personal joys and sorrows. Start with a big thank you to Bonnie and John for hosting one of our auction offerings last night, which was an absolutely extraordinary concert by Slip, our regular accompanist, and lots of good food. So it was a real joy to be there. Also, some of you know Sue Pinkham. She fell and broke her hip, and they immediately did a hip replacement, so she's recovering from that. They drive down from Estes Park almost all the time. They would probably be here today, but they're not because she's recuperating, so keep her in your thoughts. So do we have any other joys and sorrows that people would like to share? Jen?
Just two joys. Joy number one is that we celebrated my dad's 99th birthday on Friday, so that was fun. He endured it well. He wasn't sure he wanted to do a big party, and it wasn't a big party, but it was a little party. And then I also wanted to let people know that Rachel and Seth and our two grandsons, Benji and Desi, are mostly settled in Amman. Took forever for them to get there because flights kept getting canceled. But they have a lovely little apartment with a little patio, and they seem to be doing well. So those are my joys.
We hold your whole family in our hearts.
I'm Donna, and I'm going to share a joy that my daughter Taylor, hi Taylor, and I have. Taylor has a fall break mid-October, and so we're going to do a little road trip and hopefully take my mom to Lake Andes, South Dakota, where my mom's side of the family used to have a restaurant on the Yankton Sioux reservation. And so, long story short, Dana had asked me a few weeks back when we had Christina here, if we might be able to, as part of Taylor's anthropology ethnographic fieldwork that she's doing with Christina's group, we might be able to create a relationship with Christina's home building. So we're going to probably do a little bit of groundwork for that. So looking forward to it.
Thank you. Have a great trip, and we hold you in our hearts for safe travels and possibly new connections. Fran?
An old friend, Linda Graziano, who was in intensive care all week following a fall back in Richmond, is now in a room, and I was able to talk to her last night. I wasn't sure if she was still alive when I called, and they said she's out of intensive care and she's in a room. And this morning, I discovered that a friend I worked with for many years, who I knew as a he, is now a she. So that was a spontaneous shock.
Here's to transitions. And Elaine?
Good morning, I'm Elaine. I have a joy-filled sorrow. My oldest son, Joel, who lives in North Carolina with his family, came here this week to visit, which is such a joy because all three of my sons were together, and that always fills my heart with lots of joy. Unfortunately, Joel's reason for being here was because one of his dearest friends passed on, and so he was here for a funeral. And this young person was just in his early 40s. So keep Nathan and his family in your hearts, please.
Thank you, Elaine. We'll keep you all, your family, in our hearts. Peter?
Is there anyone here who looked through some of my pictures last week and decided you wanted one? There's one. I brought them back.
Let's just put them up on the side again, Peter, and people can look at them.
And I have new ones as well.
Great. Thank you. Any other joys and sorrows here in the sanctuary? How about up on Zoom?
None on Zoom. None on Zoom. Can anyone give me a ride back to Berthoud after this? My wife could come up and get me, but I'd be happy if someone gave me a ride. All right.
Okay, if someone can do that, that would be great. Well, there are plenty of joys and sorrows in this world, including shootings. If they could just go away, that would be great. And of course, the wars in the Middle East and Ukraine. And so we keep all of those people in our hearts also. So thank you so much.
I'm going to invite you into a time of meditation, but of course this is going to have a little twist as well today. First of all, I just invite you to take a breath, maybe a deeper breath than you've taken yet today. And the next time you do that, let it out with a sigh. And do that another time with an even bigger, more audible sigh. Good. Now let it out with a tone. Ooh. And now let that tone wander a little bit. Ooh, ah. Now, what I'd like you to do is put your hands over your mouth and give yourself a little toning little hum. So, and you can sing yourself a song. This is your own little private meditation. Sing yourself, hum yourself, anything you might need today. And keep in mind that you can always offer yourself your own little private lullaby.
We are going to sing
Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Play with me, play with me, play with me, oh my soul. Play with me, play with me, play with me, oh my soul. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, oh my soul. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, oh my soul.
We have to get another lapel mic. Sometimes it's easier if we had 3 of them, but here we go. Today's reading is from the book Bossypants by famed Saturday Night cast member, comedian, and actor Tina Fey. Okay. The first rule of improvisation is agree. Always agree and say yes. When you're improvising, this means you are required to agree with whatever your partner has created. So if we're improvising and I say, freeze, I have a gun, and you say, that's not a gun, it's your finger, you're pointing your finger at me. Our improvised scene has ground to a halt. But if I say, freeze, I have a gun, and you say, the gun I gave you for Christmas, you bastard, then we have started a scene because we have agreed that my finger is in fact the Christmas gun.
Now, obviously in real life, you're not always going to agree with everything everyone says. But the rule of agreement reminds you to respect what your partner has created, and at the very least, to start from an open-minded place. Start with yes, and see where that takes you. As an improviser, I always find it jarring when I meet somebody in real life whose first answer is no. No, we can't do that. No, it's not in the budget. No, I will not hold your hand for $1. What kind of a way is that to live?
The second rule of improvisation is not only to say yes, but to say yes and. You're supposed to agree and then add something of your own. If I start a scene with, I can't believe it's so hot in here, and you just say, yeah, we're kind of at a standstill. But if I say, I can't believe it's so hot in here, and you say, what did you expect? We're in hell. Or if I say, I can't believe it's so hot in here, and you say, yes, this can't be good for the wax figures. Or if I say, I can't believe it's so hot in here, and you say, I told you we shouldn't have crawled into this dog's mouth. Now we're getting somewhere.
To me, yes and means don't be afraid to contribute. It's your responsibility to contribute. Always make sure you're adding something to the discussion. Your initiations are worthwhile.
The next rule is to make statements. This is a positive way of saying, don't ask questions all the time. If we're in a scene and I say, who are you, where are we, what are we doing here, what's in that box, I'm putting pressure on you to come up with all the answers.
In other words, whatever the problem, be a part of the solution. Don't just sit around asking questions and pointing out obstacles. We've all worked with that person.
That leads me to the most important rule. There are no mistakes, only opportunities. If I start a scene as what I think is very clearly a cop riding a bicycle, but you think I'm a hamster in a hamster wheel, guess what? Now I'm a hamster in a hamster wheel. I'm not going to stop everything and explain that it was really supposed to be a bike. Who knows? Maybe I'll end up being a police hamster who's been put on hamster wheel duty because I'm too much of a loose cannon in the field. In improv, there are no mistakes, only beautiful, happy accidents. And many of the world's greatest discoveries have been by accident. I mean, look at the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup or Botox.
Okay, well, Tina Fey gave the sermon today, class dismissed. Tina Fey did offer some really valuable transferable lessons from improv, but there is something that she left out. And that something is perhaps the most spiritual aspect of improv, which is living in the constant edge of unknowing, which really is being fully aware of the reality of life. Everything changes constantly, and we're not in control of it. The past probably 5 or so years has probably given us, maybe the past 8 if we take the political system into account as well, have given us some real surprises that make us realize we are not in control of what life is. I can't tell you how many times as a minister during the past 5 years I used the word pivot. Like on a dime we would have to change what we were doing. Did that happen here as well, maybe during COVID? Now we're doing it this way. Oh, now we're going to do it this way, right? So this is actually what life is about, constant change. And yet our brains and our minds want to be able to figure out the outcome and know where the outcome is. Religious historian Karen Armstrong names the wisdom of unknowing as the 7th step in her book, 12 Steps to a Compassionate Life. It's that central to religious understanding. Great thinkers also understood the paradox. Socrates insisted that the only way he could be considered wise was because he knew that he knew nothing at all. That kind of makes me go like that. And our own Henry David Thoreau, Unitarian from the 1800s, it is only when we forget our learning that we begin to know. So living in this beginner's mind, this Buddhist beginner's mind, is one of the most profound spiritual practices. Like when the red ball comes to you and it's a red ball, and then all of a sudden it's a green ball. Albert Schweitzer and Albert Einstein both reveled in the mystery of life and acknowledged that these were brilliant men. And they acknowledged that their sense of themselves was grounded in how much they didn't know. Imagine how much that opens up for you when you can live as somebody who doesn't know. Eastern religions, of course, especially Taoism, were really central to this unknowing. 3rd century BCE, Taoist mystic and philosopher Zhangzi claimed that when we cling to our certainties, our likes and our dislikes, we alienate ourselves from what he calls the great transformation of the way, which is the Taoist kind of imagining of life. Because the truth is that we are all in a constant state of flux. Fixing ourselves with opinions, with things that we think we know, only closes us down to the present moment. States of unknowing open us up to curiosity, increase our capacity to empathize with others, and engender compassion. I believe, like the Taoists, that it is these states of unknowing that transformation happens. Let me define for you transformation, how I think of it. Change is like replacing a light bulb. Transformation is when you add solar panels, right? So transformation is like a whole new energy source, and the way that the light bulb functions is completely changed. So sometimes transformations happen like lightning bolts, those moments we have of enlightenment, but most of the time, transformation happens in little bitty incremental moments and actually takes practice until at one moment you realize that you have been changed by what you have been practicing. I believe that's true in congregations. I always remember telling my congregation it was the practice of coming every week there where you could find all of a sudden you were transformed by the community. Sometimes there's a great piece of music or a great sermon or something happens that spurs it, but mostly it's the practice that then creates the transformation over time. So co-founders, Interplay co-founders, Phil Porter and Cynthia Winton Henry, who I bow down to as people who have transformed my life, say if you want to change your life, change your practice. Change those incremental things that you're doing. Transformation, these little practices can be sneaky deep. We don't notice it's happening until the change is there. So it might feel risky to put oneself out in a new way or to improvise your life. But in this setting today, it's really a low stakes game. No permanent loss. Nothing is going to happen in here that's a permanent loss. Only the potential for some embarrassment, maybe this much, but greater potential for fun and opening and a sense of spontaneity that brings you into the neighborhood of soul. So how can an improv practice change your life? First and foremost, it requires presence and connection. I would not have been able to catch the red ball if I was looking the other way or wondering about what my son was doing. And that has a spiritual quality to it. Canadian author Sheila Hady wrote that true improv is surprising yourself. So when we get to some forms of impulse, like, I can't believe that just came out of my mouth, right? And it's like, what am I learning about myself in that moment? So the question I'm going to leave you with, almost leave you with. What might you gain if you improvise your own life in your own way just a little bit more? And if that thought intrigues you, what might you practice in a physical and repeatable way that could help you transform your life towards a more present, connected one that is ready to say yes and to all of life's uncertainties? And because I've learned through my years of interplay practice that embodied learning can be lightning swift, we're gonna practice that today. So, now, if jumping into something like this is not your thing, you will have an invitation to not jump in. However, and I want you to know that everybody, including our Zoomies, are a part of what's happening because you're witnessing what's happening. You're here. You are here in this space, so we are all a part of this activity, no matter how you choose to engage with it. Okay? You with me? So we're going to practice. We're going to do it once, right? Yeah. And then we're going to break you into small groups to do it. But I swear you don't have to do it, because here's what your option is going to be. If you don't want to be part of two-word stories, you just give yourself a little hug, and then you're not part of the two-word story, okay? But otherwise, in a few minutes, you're going to be in little groups. Now, there was someone who wished he'd joined last time. I wonder if he'd be willing to come up this time. Yes, come on up. And we could use probably one or two other people up here. This is a demonstration model. This is a demonstration. Super easy. All right, we have our second person. Fabulous. We are going to tell a two-word story. That means each of us says two words. I think I'm going to ask you to be not with your back to people, so thank you. That would be helpful. And then we'll just kind of loop around this way, okay? So I will start with two words, yeah?
I just want to move these two with me because we have one microphone.
Okay.
Good idea.
You all go that way.
And here I thought I had a booming voice.
No, you need a mic. The Zoomies will be happy if you're on a mic, so. Okay, here's our two-word stories. We're going to tell a story, each of us telling it 2 words at a time. This story is going to have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and some action that's going to happen in this story.
You didn't tell us
Action, something's going to happen. And the story's going to have a moral as well. So when somebody feels like we're getting to the moral of the story, or maybe not, and we just want to get to the end of the story, their 2 words will be the moral, and then the next person will say, of the story is. And then that person is going to have to start, in 2 words at a time, sharing what the moral of the story is, okay? Are you ready? 2 words at a time, and we're just going to keep going around until we're ready for somebody to say the moral of the story. Are you ready? You look ready. Are you ready? Ready. Okay. So, okay. Jason gasped at the
Sight that
Was in the
no mistakes.
Doorway, but
Later realized
that it
had time
to fart.
even though
the farting
Was so
utterly smelly
and so
tantalizingly sweet,
that even
though it
had a sweet aroma. Had a
sweet aroma.
no one would
have guessed
That it
had to
be priestly.
the moral
of the
Story is
even though
no one should
ever have
farted so
Loudly and.
Abruptly still.
The end.
You got the idea, right? Okay. That was awesome. Did you have fun?
That was great.
Okay. What did you learn or notice doing it?
I had to catch the red ball.
You had to catch the red ball, right? Like what?
Farts are hilarious.
Even for adults.
For us young folks.
Exactly. Okay. So, if you all want to do this, including Zoomies who will go into a breakout room so you can have the conversation, let me give the Zoomies instructions first. Anybody who feels like, oh, not my thing right now, for whatever reason, give yourself a little hug. You can be witnesses, okay? And that includes Zoomies. Zoomies, you will go into a group, and then your circle, because it's hard to do on Zoom, will be the first letter of whatever your name is on the Zoom screen. So if your name on the Zoom screen is iPhone, which I've seen, I is your first letter. Okay, so you'll just do it alphabetically. Those of you in the room, make groups of 5 or so, and feel free to say, not my thing right now, for whatever reason, okay? Okay. And decide who's going to start. A little harder to do in pews, but they'll do it. A little harder to do in pews, but they'll do it. Here they come. Okay. Oh, good. They're just getting up and doing it. Let me ring the bell and tell them to figure out who's going to start. And okay. Okay. Y'all have your little groups, those of you who are doing it. 2-word. You're doing exactly what we did. Not a complete sentence. 2-word stories. Hold on. Oh, have you guys started? Oh, there's the advanced group right there. Okay. Okay. It looks like some groups have started. Pick your person to start. Say your 2 words. Your story has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and has to have a moral. Okay. Go.
Too much fun. This is the wild group.
Okay.
Right on time.
Good. I was wondering if it go too late.
Yeah.
Okay. When you are done, have your group, one person in their group raise their hand so I know which groups are done. Okay. Okay, is your story done? Okay. Okay. How'd our stories go? You can bring the zoomies back. Okay. Tell me what you noticed. What did people notice? Hamsters? You had hamsters?
We had fun.
Fun with hamsters. What else did people notice about?
Be prepared for surprise.
Be prepared for surprise. Like life fills us with them, doesn't it? You found God. Yes. Tell me about the God you found, Rebecca. I love that. You were definitely in the neighborhood of soul.
Started out playing the piano.
Whoops, can you turn that on, Doug? Or do I have to? I do. There we go.
God started out playing the piano, which was a surprise in a UU church.
Absolutely. There we are. Lehne.
You didn't know it was God, did you?
Yes, I know. Now I know. Now I know.
I mean, it was Scorpio, so that's plus.
Anything else you found out about the process? Hard to only say 2 words, isn't it? And there are no mistakes, so you can just kind of let those blow by.
Really had to roll with it.
You had to roll with it, yeah.
Be in the moment.
Be in the moment, yeah. Yeah.
Couldn't think ahead.
Couldn't think ahead. No. I saw a couple other hands there. Yeah.
And stay focused.
Stay focused. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, to get a good story, right? You have to pay attention to all of the links. The other thing I noticed, we did this, and I heard when I was listening to other people, usually stories have more than one sentence, and so I could have cued you to be like, end your sentence, and you can tell when somebody's ending a sentence. You know, got there, period. And then you can kind of start a new sentence, but that's my little technical. For next time you want to do this with some friends, just saying. Something else? Somebody else had another hand up over there? No? So can you see that there could be some life lessons with playing around like this? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. You can find something in there on God playing piano and right here over here. Yeah. The craziness that comes out of our mouths. So that's my invitation to you, is to think about how you might improv your life so that your whole being, body, mind, and spirit, are A, closer to the neighborhood of soul, and B, ready to be available to whatever life does throw at you. Red ball, green ball, what else did we throw? Sweet potatoes, yeah. Carrots, yeah. And tiaras! Oh, ho, ho. There's a tiara for Kathy.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Yes.
But this woman said she was born, I don't know how many of those rotations ago, but we have this tradition.
Oh, excellent.
Sorry, Kathy.
Thank you so much.
Oh, is this one?
There we go. Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kathy. Happy birthday to you. Excellent. So the way we're gonna, now I'm really going. The way we're gonna make this up is, I'll give you a few little ideas, and then I'm gonna ask Lehne, oh my gosh, Lehne, to give us a beat. But the first thing is, I'm gonna make a little tone, a few sounds, and I want you to match the sounds I'm making, okay? Do, 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 do. Excellent. Now I'm going to make some sounds, and I want you to not match them, okay? That gives you the universe of other sounds to make, all right? So, zhupa. Excellent. The third option I'm going to give you is I'm going to make a sound, a series of sounds, and you remain silent, okay? Do, 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 do. Hey, that is very impressive, because usually, especially in a group of UUs, somebody needs to make a sound back at me. So good. So you got this. So the thing is, that's your choice anytime you ever hear a sound, if you think about it. You can either match the sound you hear, not match the sound you hear, or remain silent. So we're going to make a song with that. Lehne is going to start with a very simple beat. And if it's helpful for you, okay. And then I'm going to start by making some kind of a sound. You can match me, not match me, or remain silent. Or you can listen to what else is showing up in the room and match, not match that, or remain silent. And this song, like a two-word story, is going to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. There may not be a moral to it, though. But we're going to have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it will become clear what the beginning, what the middle is, and what the end is. Okay? Okay. Do-wah, 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 do-wah. Joy, 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 joy. Let's play together. Let's play together. Let's play together. Let's play together. Play, 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 play. Let's grow together. Let's grow together. Let's grow together. Grow, 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 Thank you. So I got to say, that is one of my most joyful things to do with a group of people, that in particular. But also, I just want to thank you for all your just energy to join in and go with it. And I certainly hope it was created a joyful morning for you all. I do. I think I put it over here.
I shall now extinguish, possibly annihilate, exterminate, subvert, shatter, ravage, extirpate, subjugate, massacre, wreck, or crush this flame. Really, I'm just going to put the darn thing out, but not the light, spirit, gleam, luster, radiance, glow, blaze, or fire of our commitment. That we shall carry forward until we meet again. Meet us over in the Parker Hall for some refreshments. Thank you all.